Hello everyone, this is Varaprasad and I am presenting you the daily current affairs which are useful for SSC, RRB and other government examinations. Coming to the first one, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has launched Jeevan Amrit Yojana scheme to boost the immune system of people to fight the disease in view of increasing coronavirus cases in India. The key points of Jeevan Amrit Yojana are: under this Yojana, the state government will freely distribute an Ayurvedic product called Trikut Churna, means 3 peppers, prepared by Ayush Department of the state in collaboration with Laghu Vanopaj Sangh in areas with corona infection. The full form of Ayush is Ayurveda, Yoga and Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy. Again, I am repeating the full form of Ayush: Ayurveda, Yoga and Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy. The next key point is the things used in the Trikut Churna are black pepper, Indian long pepper and ginger. A target has been set to distribute this packet of 50 grams to 1 crore families of the state. It is being claimed that drinking it will increase the immunity and has no side effects. So, the kada will be provided to the people of the state irrespective of whether they are from rural or urban areas. Some of the static GK questions are: capital of Madhya Pradesh is Bhopal, governor of Madhya Pradesh is Lalji Tandon, Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change Prakash Javadekar participates in first virtual and 11th session of Petersburg Climate Dialogue 2020 along with 30 other countries' representatives and ministers. This is to discuss the ways and means to tackle the challenges to restore the economies and societies after COVID-19, enhance joint flexibility, catalyze climate action and support most vulnerable in particular. The discussions made by Prakash Javadekar in this are: the world is united to find a vaccine for the novel coronavirus. Likewise, should unite towards making climate technology open source and available at affordable cost. On climate financial issues, the world needs more and recommended to plan for USD 1 trillion in grants to developing world immediately. Highlighted on how COVID-19 has taught to survive on less and world must think about adopting more sustainable consumption patterns in line with requirements of sustainable lifestyles. He mentioned about India's nationally determined contributions over the 10-year period are ambitious and are in line with Paris Agreement temperature goal and world's opportunity today to accelerate renewable energy deployment and create new green jobs in the renewable energy and energy efficiency sector. According to CRISIL research report, Karnataka tops in total installed renewable capacity in the financial year 2020, followed by Tamil Nadu in the second place and Gujarat in the third place. The top 3 states in overall solar energy capacity addition are Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, and in wind energy, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra. Karnataka's total renewable energy installed capacity stood at 15,232 megawatts as on March 31st, 2020 against 13,845 megawatts as on March 31st, 2019. It has the highest installed capacity for solar at 7,278 megawatts, up from 6,096 megawatts a year ago. Its wind energy capacity is at 4,791 megawatts. Let us know some reasons why Karnataka retained the first position. Many Solar Energy Corporation of India led schemes have enabled commissioning of projects in the Pavagada Solar Park with the capacity of 2050 megawatts of solar projects. The state has enabled the commissioning of several rounds of solar schemes under its solar policy, which boost additions over the past 3 fiscal years. The state has also exploited wind capacity, particularly in the districts near Ghats, and facilitated a favorable open access policy capacity until financial year 18, which helped capacity additions. Some of the static GK questions about CRISIL are: its headquarters are in Mumbai, Maharashtra. The managing director and chief executive officer of CRISIL is Ashu Suyash. The chairman of CRISIL is John Beresford. In this critical situation, India is coming forward to help less capable countries in fighting COVID-19. In this sequence, India facilitate $150 million foreign currency swap facility to Maldives. to reduce the impact of the virus. Some of the key points on this are: on behalf of India, this facility has been extended under the $400 million currency swap agreement between the countries signed in July 2019. Maldives is the only country other than Bhutan to have been given this facility. Also, this currency swap facility is the part of $1.4 billion economic packages announced by India for the Maldives during the visit of Maldives President Ibrahim Mohammed Soli to India in December 2018. The above discussion comes after Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with President Soli on April 20, 2020 on the health and economic challenges the COVID-19. Earlier, on April 2, 2020, Indian Air Force has launched Operation Sanjeevani and airlifted 6.2 tons of essential medicine supplies to Maldives via transport aircraft C-130J. Some of the static GK questions about Maldives are: its capital is Male, its currency is Maldivian Rupiah, the president is Ibrahim Mohammed Soli. Government establishes IFSCA, International Financial Services Centers Authority, to regulate all financial services in IFSCs, International Financial Services Centers, in the country, and its headquarters will be at Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Some of the key points are: the main function of the authority is to regulate financial products such as securities, deposits, or contracts of insurance, financial services, and financial institutions which have been previously approved by an appropriate regulator in an IFSC. It will provide a single window regulatory institution which accelerates the development of India's first IFSC at Gujarat International Financial City, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. National and international institutions dealing with international financial services will utilize the IFSC platform for inbound and outbound investments with improved ease of doing business, thus making GIFT IFSC a global financial hub. Asian Development Bank approves $346 million loan for Maharashtra to provide reliable power connection in rural areas of the state where labor force is mostly engaged in agriculture and related activities. Some of the key points of this are: the loan, which is ADB's first results based lending modality in South Asia's energy sector, will be sanctioned as a part of Maharashtra Rural Connectivity Improvement Project and Maharashtra Agri-Business Network Project. It will support the state's high voltage distribution system program, in which 46,800 kilometers of high voltage 11 kilovolts energy distribution systems will be installed and 121 substations of 33 by 11 kilovolts modernized by Maharashtra State Electricity Distribution Company Limited. Maharashtra Energy Department and Maharashtra State Electricity Distribution Company Limited will implement this project, which will get a counterpart funding of $357.1 million by Maharashtra in association with Maharashtra State Electricity Distribution Company Limited. In addition to the above said amount, the Asian Development Bank will also provide $1 million as technical assistance. Some of the static GK questions about Asian Development Bank are: its headquarters is in Mandaluyong, Philippines, and the president is Masatsugu Asakawa. And some of the static GK questions about Maharashtra are: its capital is Mumbai, Governor is Bhagat Singh Koshyari, its Chief Minister is Uddhay Thackeray. MyGov and VMate collaborates to disperse information on COVID-19 to support the central government efforts against the spread of coronavirus pandemic. My Government India has been launched on VMate to provide the official information related to the novel virus outbreak and the efforts being made to control its impact. So, VMate users can now get first-hand real-time information from the government on various announcements made it in the wake of COVID-19 and the lockdown triggered by it. It is also equipped to stream live speeches. On Sunday, the 64th edition of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's monthly radio program Mann Ki Baat was streamed live through MyGov India profile on VMate. The first video posted on the profile talks about Arogya Setu, a mobile application developed by the Government of India to connect essential health services with the people in the combined fight against COVID-19. The app also contains information regarding risks, best practices, and relevant advisors about the virus outbreak. The video suggests that anyone can make masks at home, and procedure about the same can be obtained through the Arogya Setu app. Kamal Jain, professor at Civil Engineering Department IIT Roorkee, has developed a software which can detect COVID-19 within 5 seconds using X-ray scan of suspected patient. The professor, who took over 40 days to develop the software, has filed a patent for the same and has approached the Indian Council of Medical Research for a review. He claims that the software will not only reduce testing cost but also reduces the risk of exposure to healthcare professionals. So far, there is no verification of his claim by a medical institution. I first developed an artificial intelligence based database after analyzing over 60,000 X-ray scans, including those of COVID-19, pneumonia, and tuberculosis patients, to differentiate between the kind of chest congestion suffered in the three diseases. I also analyzed the chest X-ray database of the United States NIH Clinical Center, Jain told. Using the software developed by me, the doctors can simplify, upload pictures of an individual's X-ray. The software will not only classify whether the patient has any sign of pneumonia, it will be able to tell whether it is due to COVID-19 or other bacteria and also measure severity of the infection. Uma Balasubramaniam's new book is Sayajirao Gaikwad III, Maharaja of Baroda, a history epic published on December 5, 2019 by Rupa Publications, on how a Maratha farmer's 13-year-old boy becomes the king of Baroda, and also how the fate twists for the favorite son of British Empire gets himself to brink of being deposed by the British. Some of the key points are: the book focuses on his ascendancy to the throne, his association with British government in India, his administrations like school for girls and training institutes for female teachers, and reforms like abolishment of child marriage and reintroduction of widow remarriage. This book was written for the people to understand about one of the India's unsung heroes who worked to build a free and modern India. About Uma Balasubramaniam, she is a history graduate from the Faculty of Arts of MS University of Baroda. She began her career in 2002 as a freelance writer for publications like The Hindu, The Indian Express, and The Deccan Chronicle. The former Finance Secretary Rajiv Kumar was appointed as the chairperson of Public Enterprises Selection Board by Appointments Committee of Cabinet. It is headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He is appointed for a period of 3 years in place of Kapildev Tripathi, who took over as the secretary to the President of Ramnath Kovind. Rajiv Kumar, IAS officer of 1984 batch of Jharkhand cadre in September 2017, he took over as the Financial Services Secretary and initiated many reforms in the banking sectors and retired from the post in February 2020. Some facts about PESB. The Public Enterprises Selection Board is initiated to develop a sound managerial policy for central public sector enterprises and to advise the government on appointments of top managerial posts. Some of the static GK questions are: Chairman of PESB is Rajiv Kumar and Director of PESB is Kailash Dan Ratnu. Former Andhra Bank Chief Suresh N. Patel takes charge as Vigilance Commissioner in Anti-Corruption Watchdog Central Vigilance Commission, and his oath of office is administered by newly appointed Central Vigilance Commissioner Sanjay Kothari. Some of the key points are: he will have a tenure of over 2 years till late December 2022. The post of Vigilance Commissioner has been lying vacant since June 2019 after T.M. Bashin completed his tenure. Currently, Sharad Kumar is working as the other Vigilance Commissioner. Let us know some facts about Central Vigilance Commission. The Central Vigilance Commission was set up by government in February 1964 on the recommendations of the Committee on Prevention of Corruption, headed by Sri K. Shantanam, as an apex body to advise and guide central government agencies in the field of vigilance. Punjab National Bank Housing Finance Limited appoints Neeraj Vyas as interim MD and CEO for a period of 8 months effective from 28th April, following the early retirement of Punjab National Bank Housing Finance Managing Director Sanjay Gupta, whose tenure as MD and CEO ends on May 4, 2020. The decision was based on the recommendations of Nomination and Remuneration Committee and approval of shareholders. Sanjay Gupta stepped down from his active duties as the MD and CEO effective from close of business hours on 28th April, and Neeraj Vyas resigned as the independent director from the board of company and took charge as the interim MD and CEO effective from 28th April 2020. Neeraj Vyas worked as Deputy Managing Director and COO of State Bank of India. He is a senior in banking profession with over 36 years of experience in banking. In the regulatory filing, the board of company has mentioned that they have initiated the process to find a new MD cum CEO. Punjab National Bank Housings had become the fourth largest housing finance company in India in terms of advances and second largest in terms of deposits by gaining significant market shares in recent years, and the company in process to rise up to 1700 crore rupees by share sale to institutional investors. Former Karnataka cricketer J. Arun Kumar was appointed as the head coach of USA men's national team. He is also known as Jack in the cricketing circles, has worked with Karnataka team for several years and as batting coach for Kings 11 Punjab in IPL. This is the first international role for Jack. Arun Kumar scored over 7,200 runs in first class cricket and over 300 runs in List A games, and he had guided Karnataka to a triple for two successive seasons, that is Ranji Trophy and Vijay Hazare Trophy and Irani Cup in 2013-14 and 2014-15. In 2019, Arun Kumar was appointed as the head coach of Puducherry. However, he quit the job in the middle of the session owing to differences with the officials of the Cricket Association of Puducherry. Some of the static GK questions about USA cricket is: its headquarters is in Colorado, United States. Its chairman is Parag Marathe. India lost hosting rights of 2021 Men's World Boxing Championships. The reason behind termination is the inability of Boxing Federation of India to pay host fee of $4 million due on December 2, 2019. Now India would have to pay a cancellation penalty of $500. It should be noted that this event had to happen for the first time in India, which will now be held in Belgrade, Serbia. This is the second time for Serbia as a host after the tournament of 1978 in Yugoslavia. India among 5 teams seals direct qualification for Women's World Cup 2021. The other 4 teams are New Zealand, Australia, England and South Africa, which was to be held in New Zealand and scheduled from February 6th to March 7th in 2021. The announcement is made after ICC's technical committee has decided that teams will share points in all 3 series in the ICC Women's Championship that did not take place during the competition window. India has reached 2017 Women's World Cup final, have won 10 matches and lost 8 out of 21 matches that have played in the current cycle of ICC Women's Championship. All the 8 teams in 2017-20 edition of ICC Women's Championship play each other in a 3-match series. The host of ICC Women's World Cup 2021, New Zealand, and the next 4 highest places teams, Australia 37 points, England 29 points, South Africa 25 points, and now India 23 on the points table, qualify directly for ODIs. Famous actor Rishi Kapoor passes away. He was 67. He died due to blood cancer. He was born on September 4, 1952 in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Rishi was the third generation actor, the second son of actor Raj Kapoor and a grandson of Prithvi Raj Kapoor. He recently announced his next project, a remake of Hollywood film The Intern, also featuring Deepika Padukone. Rishi had starred in more than 100 films. Rishi received the National Film Award for Best Child Artist for his debut role in his father Raj Kapoor's 1970 film Mera Naam Joker. He had his first lead role as an adult in the film Bobby and won the Filmfare Best Actor Award in 1974. Coming to the last one, International Jazz Day 2020 is observed on April 30. It is celebrated annually to promote jazz and its role in uniting people from all around the world. The community, schools, artists, historians, academics, and jazz enthusiasts from all around the world are brought together to celebrate and learn jazz and its impacts to raise awareness. In the lockdown due to COVID-19 pandemic, the 9th International Jazz Day, hosted by Herbie Hancock, will take place online. The celebration will be streamed live on jazzday.com at 3 p.m. in US Eastern Time instead of Cape Town, South Africa, and other locations around the world as previously planned. The virtual global concert is led by a series of free educational masterclasses, children's activities, and web conference discussion among the educators and judge artists. We are providing you the PDF of this entire session in the description box below. People who want to download the PDF can go to the description box and click on that link so that you can download the PDF. Thank you everyone. Please subscribe to our channel for more updates. Please give your valuable suggestions in the comment box.